Hello, welcome to a kind of different type of video. This is the kind of video that if you don't give a flying fuck about me, probably not going to find that interesting, but I imagine you clicked because you are, so welcome. I don't know what I'm going to title the video yet, but it's going to be about me, friends, relationships, and experiences that I've had. And it's going to be mostly just me talking, but those are the themes. And I'm going to start off on some cool things that I find, not that I find interesting, rather cool things and people that are cool that I appreciate. Starting off, of course, you probably know Mixed ASMR. If you are a long-time fan of this channel, I have mentioned her many times, but she very recently hit 30,000 subscribers, which is really, really fucking cool. And I highly recommend that you go check her channel out. If you still have not done it, you need to do it. She is incredible, she is fun, she is creative, she is beautiful. She's everything an ASMR artist should be, so you should go and say hi, at the very least. And if you do choose to go, tell her I sent you. Yeah, she's one of my greatest friends, and I'm really thankful that I've gotten to know her over the last few years. She means a lot. And I'm a fucking worthless piece of shit, but she puts up with me anyway, so, for the most part. Which is cool. When it comes to like emotional support and stuff like that, she's usually the person I turn to. So, I'm really happy she exists, and you should go check out her channel. Another person I really appreciate who has had a massive influence on my life is a man by the name of Benjamin Burney. Now, I don't think I've mentioned him on the channel before, or maybe only a little bit, but he is a dude who, when he was in high school, him and his friends would make games, and they made a game called Mantra. This was a game for old Mac OS systems, and it was released on a shareware disk, among other places, for old Mac OS computers. And I played that when I was a kid. So a game that he made in high school, I played as a kid, and the music from that is really, really cool. So when I looked up the team many years later for my really old Let's Play channel, I asked him for permission to make videos on the game, and I was the first person ever to upload videos of that game, if I know correctly. I couldn't find anything else at the time. So yeah, and since then we've been talking and working together on various things. He has an education in law and has helped me put together contracts and so on, and so he has been very helpful with advice and general legal things for projects of mine. He is also a writer, and that is currently his passion, and that is what he's working on, and I wanted to direct some of you towards his work. He's got a new book, a novel coming up called The Bright Path, and if you're into reading or like fantasy adventures and want to hear a podcast, he's got a podcast going where he reads the novel end to end. In fact, I've written down, coincidentally, well, not coincidentally, it's more because I couldn't print it out, But whatever. The point is, I've written down a bit of a pitch for this, so here we go. The podcast will be a complete end-to-end reading of his new forthcoming novel, The Bright Path. The novel is a sprawling science, fantasy, comedic, adventure, romance, political thriller with goblins and cannons. Now, if that doesn't catch you, I've got more. Jonathan Miller has harbored a secret flame for his childhood friend Merrily Hunter for years, and as Midsummer's Eve approaches, he's ready to make his move. But when a cranky, sharp-tongued professor of applied history rides into town looking for a lost book, Jonathan and Merrily quickly find themselves swept up in an adventure that will take them to the very edges of history, language, and probability. They join a host of colorful men, women, goblins, snarfs, horses, and strange outsiders, all set in a world grappling with the consequences of scientific advance, political unrest, and religious debate. It's jam-packed full of content. It is an interesting read, and it is also being read. So if you want a sort of bedtime story that you can listen to and fall asleep to, or listen to while you're doing your homework or whatever, I imagine a lot of you would enjoy that. Since you listen to ASMR, you should check out the description, and you can find the link there to his podcast and website. And I've probably also showed you some illustrations and art from his website / book while I've been reading that. So if that sounds interesting, by all means, just go check it out. Open up in a new tab or something right now so that you don't forget. And on the subject of friendship and cool projects, this last weekend I have been working on a game with a team of people for a game development competition called Ludum Dare. It is the 42nd Ludum Dare competition, and we made a real-time strategy game in 72 hours. It is super cool. It's kind of buggy, but it is super cool, and it is incredibly ambitious. It's possibly the most ambitious Ludum Dare game this competition, if not ever, in terms of what we got made. We have a team of 7, 2 of which are dedicated voice actors. I also did some voice acting for it. My work was sound effects, casting direction, voice actor management, and editing the voice as well. I handled the narrative design, the writing. Well, most of it, anyway. There's like bits that aren't by me, but like 95% of it is me. And basically anything to do with sound that isn't music is me. So that was super fun. And we have an incredibly talented team, one of which I've been working with a lot. He's the person who programs for my own personal game project, the one I hope to put out there as a prototype. He was ill for a while, which is why it isn't out already. But he was ill for months, and he's still sort of ill. So for pretty much the entire summer, he's been out of commission and has not been able to work on the project. But he's better as of this month, and we've been working towards it again. He's not going to watch this, but I think he's awesome, and I'm really thankful for what he does. I think he's incredible at what he does, and he's basically, without him, I'd kind of just be sitting there with my dick in my hand doing nothing. So yeah, he's really talented. There are some cool people in my life. In addition to that, there are other people, of course, but not so relevant to the very recent. So I'm not going to go through all the people that I think are cool. There are many people that I think are really cool. There's the artist for my game. There's people who've worked on lore and other projects with me in the past. there's also, I could go over the 2 voice actors that were part of the game. I've been working with them for a few projects and for the last few years. They're incredible. They're professional voice actors, and I think the work with me was basically their first, or among their first work. So we've kind of just been working together since the beginning. My work as a casting director was also with them and other people as the first, so yeah, that part of all of our careers has sort of been started at that point back in 2014, so they're really cool, extremely reliable, extremely well, or good at their job, rather. So, yeah, it's nice to know so many cool people. And then there are other things that have happened recently. Someone reached out to me very recently, just 2 days ago, in fact. Someone I used to have a bit of a relationship with, and well, I'm not going to go into too many details. I suppose it is personal, but a major reason we're not together and we stopped being together was due to religious reasons. I'm no longer religious, but she is. Well, to put it all simply, she reached out to me after having not spoken to me really for like 5 years. And she was in the area, and so we met up, and it was really nice. There was just a lot of holding, some kissing, talking. And she's not supposed to be doing that, but she gave in to temptation. And that was nice. It reminded me of what it was like to be loved. I don't really feel that very often, and I don't experience other people being interested in me these days. Like, you'd find people on Tinder or whatever, and they're just so fucking... They don't ever want to meet. They never have time. And I'm like, sure you do. We all have fucking 24 hours in the day. You just don't want to. I hate bullshit excuses and just lies. I wish people would just be honest. If you don't want to meet, fine. Well, this person barely had time. Like, lots of shit came up, and they still squeeze in a little bit of time, and then they're like, okay, now when do you end work? And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and they are still thinking about meeting up then. You know, like, trying to find every little ounce of time to meet up. That's what it's like to feel wanted. That's what a person who really wants to meet does. If you really want to do something, then you fucking do it at all costs. It's not like, I'm too tired or I'm too busy. What kind of bullshit excuse is that? Especially over the long... I've had people say that they're too busy for months, and I'm like, it's not that I can't take a hint. It's that I fucking refuse to. You're gonna be honest, or I'm just gonna keep fucking bothering you. Like, I don't know. It's just frustrating. The people just don't say things straight. You know? It frustrates the hell out of me. It seems so fucking immature. So anyway, feeling wanted again is nice. Although it probably isn't going to be a thing because, you know, religion and all that, so. But it's just a little experience that I had again, which was enjoyable. In terms of not so enjoyable experiences, I recently had a nightmare. The night after they contacted me, actually, not that it was related, but it was just kind of up and down, roller coaster. I had a nightmare for the first time in forever. And basically, I made a tweet about this, but I can't remember every detail. I essentially couldn't remember things, and I couldn't understand things. I couldn't quite hear people. I was with people that apparently knew who I was, and I knew them, I guess, but I didn't remember them. And they were like, "Hi," and I was like, "Hey," and I couldn't remember them. I was also there with a bunch of family, and there were so many people, and it just got so hectic, and I could start like feeling anxiety in my dream and getting really uncomfortable, and it wasn't nice. Like, things would happen, and I couldn't remember them happening, even though they happened like seconds before. It's like I had dementia, and everything was going to hell. It was really unpleasant. And for the first time in a dream, I actually started crying. Like, I didn't cry in real life, I cried in the dream and started hugging one of my older brothers. It was really strange. Sorry for the background noises, by the way, if you can hear those. I'll try and edit the audio a little bit, but yeah, no, it was extremely uncomfortable. And I woke up almost with a cold sweat and had anxiety, and it wasn't very nice. So, lots of up and down experiences recently. Like, that was last night, basically, or the day before last night, and I'm still kind of like feeling it, so it's, yeah, I don't do well with people. And social anxiety and stuff like that, it sucks. So working as a bartender, which I'm gonna do later, it's not exactly the world's best job for me, but I get to be myself, so. Anyway, if you're still watching, that's cool. I highly recommend you check out Mixed ASMR's channel. She's called Elizabeth, by the way. And also check out Benjamin Burney's podcast, both of which will be linked in the description, as well as a pinned comment, probably. And tell them that I sent you. If there's a way to tell them on the podcast, I don't know, probably is. Go listen. It's worth it. They're both awesome. And they've helped me out a lot, so they deserve some additional exposure, so help them out. Alright, I gotta go. I gotta edit this video, so I'll see you guys in the next video. I don't know when that's gonna be, but I don't know. Sometime. Bye-bye.